Ladies and gentlemen, my neighbors are screwing around with their broken, burnt out cars, and I'm going to have a drink. We are actually not going to talk about my neighbors and burnt out cars. I have nothing to say about that. If they want to have burnt out cars, let them do it. I just need to use up my wine spritzer print grapefruit, and we're going to talk about what came first, the chicken or the egg. The egg. Before I get any further, let me remind you that for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. 4Ocean then pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. If you'd be so kind as to comment, like, and subscribe, you'd be doing your part for a better world. Now then. What came first, the chicken or the egg, is often a philosophical question. Because obviously, a chicken lays a chicken egg. If it's not a chicken, it doesn't lay a chicken egg. All right? That's the philosophy. Unfortunately, this is not a philosophy question. This is a science question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, if you're saying that it's the chicken's egg, obviously the chicken has to lay the chicken's egg. But you see, firstly speaking, an egg we would recognize as something we can eat existed millions of years before the chicken. And secondly speaking, theoretically at least, a genetic mutation led to the first chicken. Somewhere in history, there was a bird very similar to a chicken, and this chicken did what we call reduction division, which is a sex cell divides, leaving it with two incomplete sets of chromosomes, all right? Then another bird comes up, and this is the rooster, and its cells divide to create multiple cells that also have two incomplete sets of chromosomes. Then these birds smush, and once these birds smush, they create an embryo. The embryo is then encased in an egg, and the chicken lays it. All right? So, the first chicken had to come out of an egg where the parents' method of breeding somehow created a mutation that created a chicken. So the egg has to be the first thing that is chicken. Before this, the bird was not a chicken. Now, one of the issues regarding this is that the parent species of the chicken and the chicken at the time could clearly breed. And whatever this mutation was that defines chicken is very much a survival advantage. This survival advantage meant that, this is now what we call a chicken. Not all chickens are domesticated chickens, by the way. There are things like prairie chickens. They're chickens. I don't know what defines a chicken. I'm assuming that there's a certain dietary requirement to whatever a chicken is. Chickens typically ground-feeding birds. Lay a lot of eggs. But I believe we bred common egg laying into chickens. I think that's a human thing. This is why we don't eat turkey eggs, because turkeys don't produce as many eggs. And, the great thing about chickens is they lay an egg every day, and you get so many chicken eggs that you don't need to breed them into a bird to get all the money you need. You just need to make enough eggs to sell those. in order to sell things like turkey eggs or quail eggs, it's a lot harder, but we do eat quail eggs, so yeah. But yeah, what came first? Obviously, the egg had to come first. That's how the world works. They're working on their cars. Yeah. It's one of those great questions that comes up, you know. But those questions come from a standpoint of not knowing science. I mean, if you're a creationist, you believe that there have always been chickens. If there has always been chickens, the chicken came first. God did not come down and say, here is a chicken egg. I mean, it's not going to need to be incubated because I'm God. And I've decided that this chicken egg doesn't need to be incubated. You know, God, if God came down and created chickens, you know, if chickens have always been, then God came down and said, boom, chickens. And then they started laying eggs. You could even argue that God would have made chickens with eggs so that the chickens would realize they need to incubate their eggs, but that's not really how it works. If you look at science, and some people will say that science is the method by which God created. You know, what's a day to God? You know, God created the heavens and the earth and so on and so forth. But what's a day to God? What's a day before the sun is even created? You know, I mean, it's whatever he says a day is. Maybe it's a mistranslation and we don't understand the concept of day. But that's how it is, you know. Short answer, science says egg came first. God or religion says chicken came first. Long answer, what difference does it really make? Anyway, so yeah, I have a list of philosophy questions. I'm going to go through them all. I mean, I have to have videos. Some of them are going to be good. Some of them are going to be bad. I don't know if this one's all that great, but we'll see. We'll see when I post it. I'm Richard.
Danger Ducky says it would be sweet as a cupcake if you would comment, like, and subscribe.